A good morning. Welcome back to the channel. So first off, thank you to everybody last night that came out and picked up a warthog or tried to pick up a warthog to celebrate the retirement run. That was the retirement. That's our last warthog release. We've got a couple of these guys that I need to silicone and test. And I'll just end up dropping those, not via the website. Those are just a couple extras from ones that we had sent out via Patreon, and I just need to re-silicone and test. But for all intents and purposes, the warthog is finished. It's retired. It's done. No more to be made. Absolutely. You guys know I'm a man of my word. So as soon as I say it's retired, it's retired. I would love to bring a couple of our old retired yo-yos back, but you know, they're retired, and that's what happens. So why do we do that? Well, there's a couple reasons. I only like to have, like, it's not the best reason in the world, but I only like to have so many yo-yos I'm working on at the same time in production. And the warthog has kind of been out there for a while, and like sitting there, like we weren't producing any, but it wasn't retired. So we did this final run. We had the parts made over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and since then, because I had inquired about getting some more, that machine shop has closed. So I decided, okay, we just have to retire it. That's the same thing for the Wolf and the Warthog. They were both made at the same machine shop, and that machine shop is no longer operating. But since we can't make anymore, I could have sent them to a different shop, but there's always the chance that they end up a little bit different. Just from where they source the aluminum to maybe one tiny variation in the type of CNC machine they use. So it's retired. That played into it as well. Those are our main reasons for why we retire yo-yos. Well, the first reason is the main reason why. The second reason was kind of an outlier for the Warthog because the machine shop was no longer up and running. But that's where we're at. And some of you guys have mentioned a Warthog 2021 or a 21, a Hog 21, which is kind of how we've been doing, like the Banshee, the Pelican. We've kind of been updating designs instead of retiring and doing a V2, more along the line of like a car model where you have a I've got a Honda Accord. So you have a Honda Accord in 2015. It's mostly the same components or under the hood as maybe like a 2018. Maybe some updates, but then the body looks a little bit different, but you can still tell it's a Honda Accord. It slowly evolves over time. That's kind of what we're doing with some models. So some of you have been asking about a Hog 21, and I really want to do a Mongoose before we flow into the Hog 21 or a Hog 22 or whatever year it is that we decide, hey, let's give that Hog an update if we decide to. But the Warthog, I haven't designed it yet. I mean the Mongoose, sorry. Kind of in the animal aspect, very different. The animal aspect, very, very different. Mongoose and Warthog. But in the Halo world, not that different. So I like to use names from Halo that are also other items. Ghost, Banshee, Warthog, Mongoose. The list goes on and on. So my idea for a Mongoose is something just the Warthog is a oversized yo-yo. The Mongoose would either be a mid-size or a full-size, maybe like 54. Similar shape, similar feel, lighter, not a ton of rim weight, but that's kind of what I'm feeling on the design phases. And today's kind of just like a little story time video. I like to do these answer questions every once in a while, and that kind of wraps us into where we are at for new designs. So right now we've got a second Patreon designed prototype in the works. That's the first thing that's coming, and then we want to work on the Repost V2 that is getting updated, so it'll be a V3. And then we've got two other things. We want to hit an updated Elite. We want to hit an updated Banshee and the Mongoose. That's everything that I've got laid out right now. We also want to do a larger 003. Those are all the designs that I have like laid out. They're not completely designed, but they're laid out that I want to do like in the coming future. Great, in the coming future, Jake. But in the near-ish future, you know, end of this year, early 2021. That's kind of where we're at, focusing on. Those are the items. So the first one up is that Project C, if you saw it designed on Patreon, and then probably the Repost Proto will get updated. And then that'll be followed by, I'd really like to do that bigger 003. Those are the first three we're going to be focused on, and then we also want to get like the Mongoose and another. So those first three are all like case file series yo-yos. We want to get the Mongoose, which is going to be more of a mainstream flagship yo-yo, the way like our other large models are produced, you know, throughout the whole year or multiple years. So that kind of gives you an idea where we're at. I know a lot of people have asked what's coming next. So a lot of our capital right now was spent on a Arbiter and Banshee SS run. So we got the third run of those. Those will be in anytime, finished anytime. I just have to assemble and test them as soon as they get back from some anodizing and getting the rings put on. Some of them, testers have arrived and I approved them, so such as that DraftKings Red Plasma SS. But that should let you know we've got SSs and Arbiters in the way. And once we're able to sell some of those and replenish some capital, we're going to be working on the new designs. But right now, that was where our capital went, was the third run for both of those. So you'll see some releases of those. The capital also went to Reapers, which you guys saw the Limit Live Faves, and a small amount of Pelicans. And these are just going to be Pelican 19s, 6061. We only did the small batch of 7068, the AO7s. I really like it. I'm still kind of waiting to see if there's more feedback from those of you that have played them. I was considering doing a one-time pre-order just on some 7068 Pelicans before that ends up in the retirement pool. So if that's something you're interested, make sure you let me know. Ask your friends if they're interested. If I see some interest generated, then we'll figure it out. But that's kind of where we're at right now. Good spot to be. We'd like to do a titanium project here shortly. And then obviously we're going to continue the artist series of respawns. I think that's the updates I have for you guys. I'll see you bright and early Monday morning. Thanks again for picking up a Warthog. The Kaleidoscope Warthog silent auction, there was basically like 2 high bids, and then the rest were like, maybe there was one in the 300s and then some 250s and down, but it ended up selling for 500 plus shipping. That was the second highest bid, so the first highest bid was obviously higher, and then you pay the second highest bid. That's how the silent auction works. So the Kaleidoscope went for 500 plus shipping, and I know that interests some of you, so there it is. That's going to go into another cash prize contest pool. So we'll be working on that early 21. Thanks, guys. We'll see you Monday morning.